Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Yona of the Dawn, chapter 210. When we last left our heroes, we opened with Vol in Choggle's throne room getting orders to go to Kudo, go to the Crimson Dragon Castle, and recapture Mignon, whatever that looks like. If she's a prisoner of war, which she is, just rescue her. If she's a concubine, capture her. If she's dead, I guess bring her body back, I guess. But then also to carve the symbol of the Empire into Kudo, which I'm guessing is just to murder a lot of people. Anyway, we then spend some time reflecting on Vol and Mignon's relationship. We see they were very close before Mignon got kind of scooped up to be a concubine. And so how exactly Vol will react once he makes it to Koka is up to interpretation. Meanwhile, back at Keen Province, we see that Geun-Tae and the Earth Tribe troops have sort of been keeping guard against any attempts by Kai to kind of reclaim the province. And then some Kai troops attack. Geun-Tae mostly makes quick work of them, but while protecting the little boy Kalgan, he is struck by a few arrows and is about to be struck by a bunch more arrows before Hawk comes in to save him. And that's where we left off, jumping right on into chapter 210. Finally, away from evil twin scans. Thank God. With Project Vinland, a group I've never really read from before, but they're on cat manga, and I have good faith in the people Black Cat have faith in. So, let's see. We open with this nice two-page color spread of sort of Yona and Suwon in the sunset, or maybe the dawn, given this is Yona of the Dawn, facing their opposite directions. It feels kind of like an early manga color spread, especially now that Yona and Suwon are at least on paper on the same side, but it's still a nice piece. The days of yore are far away. Even though we are near, we can't look at each other. What does that show? Chapter 210, Fatal Wound, which is a bad sign if you happen to be a Geun-Tae fan, given what happened to him last time. Anyway, we see Kalgan, mouth agape. I think these are the Earth Tribe soldiers. I don't think any of the citizens of Keen have that sort of armor. But they're all just kind of shocked at Hawk's sudden arrival, which, again, as I kind of pointed out in my last video, is a bit of a coincidence. So nice to see him. Kalgan runs up to him, Hawk! And Hawk calls back, "Are you okay, Kalgan?" "I'm okay, but General Geun-Tae he protected me." And Hawk notes the archers up on that cliffside where they shot Kalgan. And Hawk calls to Yoon, who is of course with him. "Yoon, I'm leaving Geun-Tae to you." Yeah, Kalgan is also in danger, so fall back." And then we see more arrows sort of going at the Earth Tribe horses and soldiers. They sort of can't really advance. "Shit, we can't get close. Our arrows won't reach from here." Another troop calls out, "Is General Geun-Tae all right?" "I don't know. Be careful. Don't do anything stupid." And we see, it looks like the Earth Tribe is kind of getting a little riled up. Now they can't really get close to these archers. And one of them thinks, "If we don't settle everyone." And he looks back, "Huh?" And he sees Hawk, next to his horse, just removing the soldiers' bow and arrows. "You, what are you?" My bad. Lend me your bow a sec." And everyone's kind of stunned at Hawk walking up to this soldier and stealing his equipment. "The people in the forest, right? Stand back." "Wait, hang on. Where did that guy..." And another troop reacts, You can't be the Thunder Beast of the Wind Tribe." "Well..." And Hawk tells them, "Sorry I'm late. I'm one of the Sky Tribe's new recruits." Good shit, Hawk. Good shit. Deny everything. Have some fun. And he shoots 3 arrows, and they go straight into 3 Kai soldiers' chests. The Earth Tribe reacts, "He got them!" And he just keeps shooting every arrow, a new enemy down. They just keep falling. And one of the Earth Tribe guys says, "All direct hits. This Sky Tribe recruit is something else." But then his friend corrects him, "No, that guy's the Thun." And then he's kind of cut off by Hawk firing 3 more arrows. The Kai soldiers all focus on him. "That guy! Shoot that man!" And the guy who Hawk stole the arrows from tells him, "Incoming." And Hawk reacts and then jumps onto the guy's horse. I want to know this guy's name. This guy's just not having a great time with Hawk. He's just like, Hawk has showed up for about 5 seconds and has just stolen all of his shit. Now he's riding his horse. Give me a lift. What? And the pair race towards the archers. There seem to be a lot still alive. I didn't think there were that many. But after all those arrows, there's still what looks like maybe 10 silhouettes on that cliff. But the duo rides to the battle. Hawk tells them, "Reins to the right." Yes. And we see the arrows barely miss Hawk because they turned right. And then Hawk cuts some of the arrows down with his glaive, shocking the keen soldiers, but who still mutter out, "Fire!" And Hawk tells his companion, "Left." Yeah. And one of them barely misses Hawk. And it's so close that Hawk grabs the arrow. "Hold my glaive." Hey! And Hawk just hands him the glaive, and he readies the arrow, and he shoots right into another Kai soldier's chest, shocking his commander. Hawk readies another trio of arrows, and he glares down the archers. And the commander calls, "Retreat! Retreat!" And one of his subordinates reacts, "Is it all right? We wounded General Geun-Tae. That's acceptable for now. We're moving out. Trying to achieve more than our 2 objectives would be dangerous." Okay. So they have specifically two objectives, one of them being getting Geun-Tae out of the battle, I guess. And what's the other? Luring Hawk is too much of a coincidence. Maybe riling up the province, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, I guess the battle's over. We see Hawk is sort of looking out. So this is like right after. They're still kind of on the run. The Earth Tribe soldiers react. They're retreating. And that guy is no rookie. And the one who still knows who Hawk is tries to tell them, "I told you, he's the Thunder Beast." And then Calgon calls out, "Hawk! Hawk, thank you for coming." And Hawk notes him, "Oh, I was passing by and decided to drop in. Lucky we met. How's Geun-Tae?" And Calgon sputters out, he's... And we see Geun-Tae lied up in bed, bandaged but unconscious, presumably alive, but still. Yoon reports, "The truth is, it's serious." Which might be our fatal wound from the title. Everyone kind of reacts with various levels of shock and fear. He took 3 arrows in the back. He barely kept his life, but recovery will also be difficult. I don't think General Geun-Tae will be fighting anymore. Forever? Is Geun-Tae going to end up like a permanent bystander? I can't imagine Geun-Tae liking that. In all honesty, I can see that happening for a little while, and then Geun-Tae at some point goes to battle for some cause, knowing it'll kill him, but, dying valiantly or something. That seems like the kind of choice Geun-Tae would make in the end. But the Earth Tribe reacts, "You're lying, kid!" And Calgon is just crying. "It's my fault. It's my fault that General Geun-Tae got wounded. Yoon, please, save General Geun-Tae." And we see Yoon kind of taken aback by the ferventness of Calgon's plea. We see Geun-Tae in pain, and then we cut to a cup dropping. "Lady Yoonho!" Oh, we cut to Chishin Castle with Geun-Tae's wife, who I guess through some sort of manga magic has sensed her husband's position. And she kind of knows what's going on. "That's Geun-Tae." And we see news has reached the castle. "Lord Geun-Tae was wounded in the Qin district. He can't move very much." "That can't be. Our Lord Geun-Tae." And even Suwon is reacting to this. The news has reached Suwon and Judo and Kye-Sook. "General Geun-Tae? The news came in this morning on a fast horse." Kye-Sook kind of fills them in. "Despite successfully repelling the enemy, it seems that General Geun-Tae was attacked by South Kai." Suwon asks, "Is it dangerous?" "Yes. At the very least, this time we will have to go to war." I mean, you were already going to war, Kye-Sook. This is not a new thing. War was already, a week or so away. But they are down a very capable general. As Judo reacts, "That idiot." And Suwon just looks up in contemplation. And Kye-Sook presses him, "King Suwon." And Suwon thinks, "The land of the Earth Tribe is on the front lines of the war. With General Geun-Tae and his overwhelming power to unite falling before battle, the other tribes' morale will definitely crumble." Yeah, it's a bad time to lose Geun-Tae, as we're sort of being reminded. We need to start preparing armaments, uniting the 5 tribes. Oh no, this is Kye-Sook. Okay. Because he uses Suwon in the third person. Between King Suwon's illness and General Geun-Tae's wounds, this hole was unbelievably large. And then we cut to Yona. Someone, I guess, is here to report the news to her. Miss? Oh, it's Zeno. I guess this translation is using miss instead of last, which might have been what Little Miss did, which is always a good sign. Yona notes him, Zeno? What is it? These coffins are... Oh, this might be a dream sequence, because we see 3 coffins between her and Zeno, and she opens one, and it's Kye. I'm assuming the other 2 are going to be Shina and Jae-ha. Kye? And then yes, Shina? Jae-ha? Why? And Zeno fills her in, their lifespan ended. Calling back to what was been very recently brought up, that the dragons have a very short lifespan. Lifespan? Look, there's 2. And behind her, she sees Maenyan and Suwon, who are also dying for a similar reason. Suwa, Maenyan. And then she sees the castle in flame. Here you castle is... Zeno, where? And we just see more and more fire. Everyone! And then she wakes up. It was, of course, a dream, but maybe a prophetic one, which could be very bad. Or is this a general, she's destined to live beyond the dragons because the dragons don't live very long, and it's sort of her anxieties around that sort of creeping in, maybe. Or it's some kind of prophecy. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But she wakes up in a cold sweat, and she just reacts, a dream. And she sort of takes a second to calm down, but Jae-ha pops up right behind her. What is, Yona dear? I guess she said that dream bit out loud? I thought that was kind of silent. And Yona reacts, Kya! And Kye lunges over, ends up whacking Jae-ha. Are you okay, princess? And Jae-ha's just like, ah. And we see he's got Jae-ha in a chokehold. Was this guy being rude? Kye? No, not at all. I was just surprised. But Kye won't really let go of this. Curse you for surprising the princess! Let go of me! Are you bored? and we see Yona sort of watching their antics, though certainly with the prophecy of her dream of their death on her mind. Thankfully, everyone's okay. And Zeno walks over to her. Given the dream, I imagine she'll have some kind of reaction to seeing him. Miss, did you have a bad dream? And Zeno just looks at her, and Yona tells him, Zeno, Yona. And it's, Shina. Advisor Kye-Sook is here. Oh, so we're back using Kye-Sook. Okay. Glad for that. You'll see him? And which is almost certainly to inform her about Geun-Tae's falling. And Yona sort of looks at Shina, and Kye-Sook enters the room. Apologies for the late hour. And Yona asks him, what is it? I come with a request. On one hand, the king's condition worsens. In this eventuality, he must rest. However, he intends to go to war. I cannot hold him back. That shows how bad Suwon's condition is. It's so bad that even Kye-Sook wants him to hold off on the war for now. But Yona asks, what is it you want from me? In the war with South Kai, I would like Princess Yona to be at the king's side. And Yona sort of shocked, I think, maybe a little bit at the level of trust Kye-Sook is showing in her. Which, admittedly, after her performance with the dignitaries, I can imagine why Kye-Sook would be a good bit more trusting. Kye-Sook, what do you mean? And in the worst case, if the worst should befall the king, I would like you to lead Koka Kingdom's army. And that's where we leave off. With Yona potentially getting if Suwon dies in battle, becoming leader of the army, which I want to kind of bring into conversation with Suwon's just complete rejection of Yona as a potential successor back in 208. Because those two bits, with Suwon saying absolutely not, never consider Yona as a leader, and Kye-Sook being, you are our best bet if something happens to Suwon, that feels like it's an important contrast there. And maybe we'll have some kind of conflict between Suwon and Kye-Sook in the coming chapters, maybe? I don't know. But that's definitely something to keep in mind. Beyond that, a good chunk of this chapter is just dealing with the fallout of Geun-Tae's injuries. At first, it's just Hawk kind of kicking ass. It's been a long time since we've seen Hawk get to go all out on someone, and it's a lot of fun. I want to spend some more time with this little soldier guy who Hawk just sort of conscripts to be his like page or whatever. It's a good bit there. Then before we get to everyone's reactions, we have this bit about the two objectives. And the fact that two is sort of bolded there implies, like, one of them is obvious, get Geun-Tae off the battlefield, because he's this great unifier or whatever. But what's the other one? Is it just sort of, I don't know, maybe it's make Koka think that Keen is going to be the focus of the Kai invasion, leaving another part of the border open. Maybe it's Kudo. Maybe that's, part of it is helping Vol with his mission. I don't know. A lot to think about there. I'm sure we'll get more details on that soon enough. But after that, it's time for everyone to just sort of deal with Geun-Tae, if not passing, though the fact that the chapter is titled Fatal Wound implies Geun-Tae might not survive this. At the very least, his being forced off the battlefield. And it might just be fatal as like a metaphor for the fact that he can no longer fight. So for Geun-Tae, not being able to fight is basically the same thing as being dead. But either way, Geun-Tae is out for very much the time being, at the very least. And it's the kind of thing felt throughout Koka, especially throughout the nobility. Yunho dealing with... I'm not even sure if she's actually heard the news yet there, because there's no... In the scene where she drops the teacup, there is no one else besides her attendants from the looks of things. Unless this guy on the right is the messenger. But I got the vibe that he was like on equal standing with the woman on the left. So I assume they were just both attendants. That might just be she senses things. That sort of manga trope of sensing when a loved one is in at death's door. But either way, word does quickly reach throughout Chishin and throughout the Koka upper class, and is definitely a very important point that leads to Kye-Sook asking for Yona's aid. Because I do think that if Yona hadn't, or if Geun-Tae had not fallen, I imagine Kye-Sook would have had Geun-Tae be that second in command. But without Geun-Tae around, he has to go to Yona. And if something happens, it has to be her. Because who else is there at this point? But before that, we have a dream. Which again, I can't quite tell if this is meant to be prophetic or just tapping into Yona's anxieties. I don't know. I don't think Yona's ever really had prophetic dreams before. But it's not entirely outside the realm of possibility, but also most of her friends are her friends and allies in the case, or temporary allies in the case of Suwon, and maybe future friends in the case of Maignan. None of them really have long lives, and it'd be kind of bad right now for them to lose their lives, given the war brewing. And of course, Hiryu Castle, if they all fall, who is left to sort of protect the castle, especially with Geun-Tae out for the count. So again, that dream might be prophetic. It might be just her anxieties. Again, she doesn't know about Geun-Tae yet, so that wouldn't really factor into her anxieties of the castle burning. But there's enough bad things going on that it could all just be anxiety, or it could be a prophecy. I don't have the evidence to know. And then, Kye-Sook comes in asking Yona to potentially lead the army. And we'll see how that all plays out. I imagine Yona will accept it, but Suwon might not, is my best guess as to how that's all going to play out. But yeah, that's kind of it. This isn't the deepest of chapters. A lot of it is just sort of either a fun action sequence or reacting to the events of last chapter. But it definitely sets the stage for the war in some interesting ways, specifically with troop morale going down thanks to Geun-Tae's injuries, and also sets up a potential backup plan if Suwon doesn't make it, i.e. Yona becoming at least the head of the army. And if she's head of the army, she'll probably become queen in the aftermath, which we'll see how all that plays out going forward. But yeah, for now, that's all I gotta say for this video. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe. Do whatever makes you happy, And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!